Hey, it's been a little bit since the last Jakks Sonic review because I've had trouble finding figures, but I got 6 new 4-inch figures plus some 2.5-inch. So let's take a look at all of them.
It's morphin' time!
Special shout out to our channel members, including Sound Squadron Captains, Infinity Wartorn, Dun Dun Ranger Power, JoJo Star, Jamie's World, Spin Dash 54, Super Shaddix Boom, Toma K, Matthews Laura, Donnie Waldman, Jeremy Carr, MJ Klein, Infinite 1985, SSJ4 Jason, Oma Ender, Scrublord Gaming, Psycho O's, and Kyle. If you want to join, hit the join button down below for more details.
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to another Jakks Sonic the Hedgehog review. It has been a while. I've been having trouble finding figures. I don't like reviewing like individual ones. I've had Cream for months, but I finally, in the last couple weeks, I've been able to get everybody else you see here. So we will be talking about multiple waves. The wave that Cream came in also had a repack of Sonic and Metal Sonic, and also a new figure of Infinite. So we had 2 new figures in that wave. The wave with Blaze had Blaze as the only new figure with a new mold Knuckles, which actually is a little bit different. He's got a different expression. He's got like straight elbows, I think. And then we got Sonic and Shadow repacked. The wave that has Super Sonic and the Heavy Gunner has a repack of Shadow and also Mephiles. Haven't been able to get Mephiles yet, but we will look at him in a future video. And then Classic Knuckles is in this brand new wave that has Metal Sonic 3.0 and the Heavy King, both of which I don't have yet. There are pages for him on Amazon, and there hasn't been any, I think, pages for him. But Knuckles just kind of got out ahead of him, and there's also a repack of Modern Sonic. What's nice to see is we've gotten to 3 new character figures per wave. So there's Sonic that's a repack, but then 3 new figures here. Then we had Shadow's repack and 3 new figures here. And even the Blaze wave had 2 new figures and then 2 repacks. So this was kind of like what we had, which was 2 new, 2 repack. And it's nice to see that we've got now better case assortments. And it's also nice to see that this wave doesn't have a blue Sonic in it because it's been kind of clogging shelves. So I think that Jakks is starting to improve on the Sonic to everybody else ratio. And speaking of which, while I had to find Cream, Infinite, and Blaze in stores, I got Knuckles, Super Sonic, and the Heavy Gunner on Amazon, and people got Mephiles on Amazon, and they're at normal prices, and Jakks has them like directly, and Amazon's got them directly. That's what I like to see. This line is starting to get collector focused. Like a lot of casuals don't know who Infinite is, example. So it's nice to see that Jakks is starting to build up more of an online presence. I would like to see to a point where we start seeing figures drop on Amazon or other web stores where they're in better quantities. Not that like Amazon has to order like 17 cases to get 17 Knuckles, but that they could order like cases of Knuckles or cases of Super Sonic or cases of Heavy Gunner, which might explain why these guys have been in stock longer than some of the other figures. So I want to see that improve because I love this line. I really do. But for the last several months, all I had was Cream. And then in the last couple weeks, I've been able to get Blaze, Infinite, Knuckles, Super Sonic, and Heavy Gunner. So it's really nice to see that, things have picked up. That's why we're doing this video. And hopefully Mephiles, Metal Sonic 3.0, and the Heavy King will be easily obtainable for me in the future. And I will be able to review them on the channel sooner than later. So if you enjoy this, please hit the like button, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Leave a comment down below on any questions you have about the figures. So let's get to it. We're going to go through the 2.5 inches first and then the 4-inch figures. It's a Sonic catch-up. So where better place to start than just catching up on the 2.5-inch figures, because I don't collect these intentionally, if that makes sense. I just go out and I find them if I find one I don't have, and that's kind of what we do. And I already knocked them over. So basically we have the set of Christmas ones, which I found in the Christmas section at my Target. I did do a video on these during Christmas. If you go check my YouTube shorts, I did talk about them. And we got the Blue Chao and Rouge. So let's go with, I don't know, let's just start with the Chao. So I finally got a Blue Chao. For those wondering, I have been looking for one of these for a while. I just couldn't find him. He seems to be popping up more and more, so that's a good sign. But I did finally get a Blue Chao. He came with 3 rings because he's a little smaller than the others, which is nice. But here's the Blue Chao. Here is the Gold Chao. And here is the Dark Chao. So those are the 3 Chaos we got so far. We totally need an Omo Chao. I really want an Omo Chao. But anyways, we got the Blue Chao. From here on, shall be known as Cheese, because I don't think there's any other notable Chao besides that. And then here we got Rouge the Bat. You can see, very nice looking figure. She's got shoulders, hips, that kind of thing. I'm not going to adjust her too much. Her wings do move, which is really nice. But yeah, it's a nice little 2.5-inch Rouge the Bat. Here's the 4-inch one, so you can see, just like the other 2.5 to 4-inch figures as we've covered, they're very similar sculpts. They're just scaled down and they have less articulation on the smaller figures, but it's nice to see them in a couple different scales, which is cool. And also for the fact that like Rouge has never had toys before Jakks, and now we got 2 of them, which is great. Plus the Sonic Prime figures, which for context, Sonic Prime has a whole toy line. I opted to just not collect it, not because I couldn't find them. I actually found those easier than the video game-based figures. I just got too many toy lines, and I can't do an extra toy line on top of that, so I just skipped them. But then we got the Christmas ones. Here's Tails. Tails in his little sweater with his reindeer antlers. These are an overlay piece that clips onto his head. I'm not exactly sure what the best direction to go here. Probably this, so it like runs into his hair. They're a little loose, but they're cute. Look at that. And then we've got Sonic in a whole Santa outfit, hat, shirt, all kinds of things, which is really cool. And here's Knuckles with his little Santa hat. And these are all based on the classic versions here. And the same with Amy, where they painted her dress to look like a Santa dress, which is really cute and really fun. And then there's this modern Shadow, and it's just Shadow with like glitter specks through his plastic. And it kind of looks like Sonic just, like, you know, Shadow didn't want to participate in the Christmas stuff, so Sonic just threw glitter on him and ran away. I like it. It fits very much the character. He looks super pissed off to be covered in glitter, and I think that's very appropriate for Shadow. So that's a 2.5-inch line. Still a great little line. Still not a huge priority. My focus is on the 4-inch line, so let's talk about some 4-inch figures. Cream is a pure, well-mannered, and loyal friend to everyone she meets. She can traverse obstacles using her large ears to fly and detect enemies with the help of her cuddly Chao companion, Cheese. So here we have Cream the Rabbit. Very iconic character, especially if you've seen Sonic X, played Sonic Advance, or Sonic Heroes. This is one of our members of one of the teams, which is really great. I love seeing characters like this being made in the line because there's not really any other figures of Cream. She's very much a less made figure, even though she has been in a part of a lot of Sonic media. So it's really cool to see. There she is. She's got a little shoe. She's got a little dress. She's got her bunny ears. Just like with Tails, you're either going to get bunny ears like flying or you're going to get bunny ears down. I kind of prefer that it's down and not in the flying position just for the sake of display. But articulation-wise, she does have a neck that rotates back and forth. You do got shoulders that rotate and then shoulders that move out and then a ball-jointed wrist. You got hips that sort of move forward. They rotate out. She's got knees that bend like that, and then she's got ankle ball joints. So she's got the normal range of articulation for the most part. Now, instead of including anything super exciting, she does come with some ice cream. That being said, this is really nice looking ice cream if I can hold it. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this. There we go. 2 scoops on a cone. That cone is way too small for those 2 scoops, but it looks really nice. Fully painted, and she can hold that. I do think a lot of people were hoping that her accessory would just be her Chao Buddy Cheese, but of course we do have the Blue Chao, which luckily got re-released around the same time as her, so you can see the 2 of them together. So while they didn't come packed together, at least, Blue Chao is out there more and more, and hopefully it's easy to get. And you can kind of have them like they're holding hands. Isn't that cute? These are a great pair, and they make a great little team, and I'm glad that we have figures of them. Even if it is a little annoying you have to get them separate, I think it worked out in the long run, as long as you can find both of them. And that's kind of the biggest thing with the line, of course, is the availability. But they do look nice together. All right, here's Cream and Cheese with Amy Rose and Big the Cat, which is completing Team Rose from Sonic Heroes. Huge accomplishment in my eyes. I also love that Cream is appropriately small compared to the other 2. That is the proper scale, and it's lovely to see. Yes, they're all the same price point. No, I don't care because they're all great. But yeah, it's really cool to see the scale actually be appropriate for the characters, which is just wonderful to see in this day and age. And of course, even Cheese here fits in quite well. This also means we have completed the roster of Sonic Heroes. If you're someone that has Charmy B, I do not. Charmy B was released in the 2.5-inch line. He's been insanely hard to find. I didn't find him in stores, missed the window on buying him cheap on eBay. Now he's stupidly expensive, and I'm waiting for Jakks to re-release him. Or maybe do a slightly bigger one in the 4-inch line. I mean, Cream's a little smaller than everybody else, and she's a 4-inch figure. We'll see what happens. I will get a Charmy at some point. But yeah, if you do have the Charmy figure, that means the roster of Sonic Heroes is complete now, which is amazing. So Jakks, now that you've done the main characters, the heroes, could we get a Neo Metal Sonic after you reissue Charmy, because I really need a Charmy? Infinite, this mysterious mercenary was once the leader of the Jackal Squad that was later hired by Dr. Eggman when they attempted to raid his lair. Okay, so here's Infinite. He was the villain in Sonic Forces. He had a lot of backstory stuff, which was kind of neat and interesting and a cool song, but he is quite an interesting design. He's very unusual for the Sonic franchise. Well, he has the main tenets of like the big hands, big feet, the big head, he's very different. He's very different looking. I think that's what makes him so striking and why I'm really glad they made a figure of him. He was the one I had the most trouble finding out of everything I'm reviewing today. I had a lot of hard times trying to find him, and luckily a friend of mine spotted it at Walmart, and yeah, lucked out there because, well, yeah, he's been hard to get, and I only picked him up recently, like within the last week or so, and that's pretty far out from when he came out. So, you know, distribution is, I think, improving. So one thing to note, much like in his renders where it was like 1 foot kind of floating, you kind of have to do that with him. If you want to stand him straight, like straight-legged, and have the tail like where it kind of like normally rests like in the package, he's just gonna fall over. The reason why is because he's got all this crazy like hair stuff off the back, and it's super heavy, and the tail's super heavy, so even if you balance it like this, it's not really gonna work. But I found that you just bend the knee, like you just move his foot, bend the knee, and then counterbalance him like this. And you can kind of do his game render pose like this. There you go. And it's a little tricky because now, there we go. Once you get it balanced out, the tail sort of becomes a third leg there, and he can balance out pretty good, which is nice. He is going to be the most unstable, I think, out of all of them so far, which is kind of nuts. But I always love the one eye visible here, the closed off eye here, that duality, the white and the black color scheme, you know, the little red in the center. He does have the articulation you'd expect, which is the shoulders with the hinges, so 360 shoulders, hinges, wrist swivels. I realize this elbow's upside down. There we go. He's got wrist swivels. He's got a neck swivel, but it's a little limited. He's got hips that, of course, move forward, rotate out, the knees that bend, and the ankles that pivot, plus the tail. So you can get him into some cool poses. He is a neat design. Regardless of the character and how he appeared in Sonic Forces, he is a pretty neat design. And so as a figure, he's pretty satisfying if you can get him into the right poses. I've especially found that like posing him where he's kind of like reaching out is really intimidating looking, and I think that's probably like the best way to do it. Plus it counterbalances him real nice, and boom, there you go. That's a good counterbalance, I say as he falls over. Also, there's red on his shoes. His accessory is pretty cool. It is the Phantom Ruby, which is the source of his powers. What's also pretty neat is that it is fully realized, because a lot of these accessories will have a little port to plug in, like the Chaos Emeralds have like one part that's like stubby so it can like stand on the end. But this is actually like fully rendered, which I think is really interesting, and it's really cool looking. It's got the nice like clear plastic like prism effect going on. He can sort of hold it. I say sort of, as long as you don't bump him. He can hold it in one hand. I forget the scale of what the Phantom Ruby should look like, but you know, you can get him to hold it, which is an improvement on a lot of ways. And yeah, I think overall Infinite is a pretty great figure. I think that, you know, it's such a good design, it doesn't matter the source material he comes from, and I'm really glad to have him. For lack of any better comparisons, here's Infinite with Jakks Modern Sonic, so you can see that they're about the same size. Everybody's about the same size in this line with a few exceptions, and so it's you know, he scales nice overall. Blaze is a princess from another dimension with the ability to control fire. Though she may be standoffish, she is kind at heart. All right, here we have Blaze the cat, one of the last figures that we are upgrading from the Jazzwares line. This is a much better figure than the Jazzwares Blaze, and I'm happy to say that because I don't like the Jazzwares Blaze that much. But anyways, Blaze the cat, Sonic Rush, you know, she appears in multiple things nowadays. She's prominent in the IDW comics, among other forms of media, so really glad to see her in the line. I know this is one that a lot of people were hoping for, including myself, and so it's nice to see her. Very well rendered, very well detailed. I kind of like that, early in the line, they kind of had sort of pre-posed stuff with the figures, but now they kind of put them in more neutral stances, and I like that because they stand better on shelves that way. But really nice head sculpt. She's got her expression really well. You got the kind of the hair pulled back, and you've got, of course, her gloves with the little like poofy stuff, and her shoes that look very Sonic-esque, but they're heels, which is pretty neat. And then her tail. So she's really cool. I always love Blaze's design. She's got 360 head motion, shoulders move out, shoulders 360. She's got the wrists that swivel, hips that move out. They don't rotate out as much, but they do move forward and back. Knee that bends, and then an ankle ball joint, which is pretty nice. And then to top that off, you do get one of the Soul Emeralds, this one being the fire, the red one. So the Soul Emeralds, of course, are the source of her powers, as opposed to the Chaos Emeralds like Sonic. She's sort of just like alternate universe Sonic in a lot of ways, but she is, of course, her own character and her own personality and everything. But in a lot of ways, she is designed to be kind of like alternate universe Sonic, from the way the shoes work to the Chaos Emeralds being the Soul Emeralds for her universe. But this is one of them. There are multiple Soul Emeralds, but we did get the red one, which I think is the iconic one to put with her. It does have the little port for the play sets down here, so if you wanted to plug it on one of the little stands, you have that option as well. So here's Jakks Blaze versus Jazzwares Blaze. I love the colors better, I love the sculpt better, I love the way that her ankles work. My Jazzwares one never worked quite right. And while I was pulling out Blaze, I decided to check the box. I was like, who hasn't been updated into Jakks? It was in Jazzwares, and it's pretty much just Storm and Wave and Froggy, which is amazing. So, like, we're really close to Jakks, like, overtaking. I think they've already overtaken the Jazzwares line. But the only two Jazzwares full figures are Storm and Wave, and then, then Froggy. We don't have a Froggy for our big in Jakks, but yeah, that's about it, which is kind of crazy. Okay, so here's Blaze with the Jakks Silver and the Jakks Sonic, and you can see how she scales with them pretty good. She's always paired up with Silver a lot in external media, I think because they're both kind of like, you know, he's from the future, she's from a different universe, that kind of thing. And of course, she was paired with Sonic in Sonic Rush, so you got the two of them together, looking great. I really do like the scaling on these figures. They feel like they all scale appropriately. Super Sonic is the ultimate form for Sonic. Okay, so here we have our classic Super Sonic, which I had to do a double take on because I thought we already had him, and then I realized it was the 2.5 inch. So yeah, it's one of those things with the line having two scales I can't remember sometimes. But luckily, did remember that I do need to get the 4-inch Super Sonic, and he looks pretty great. He's got like his determined expression. He's got the big old head, and unlike the Jazzwares one that used to fall over, this one's actually got proper counterbalance. He's still going to be a little unstable just because of the nature of the design, but I found that he'll tip forward and backward, but you level him out, come on, there you go, you level out, he's good to go. So articulation wise, he's got the 360 head swivel, he's got the standard shoulders, the wrists. It is a little awkward to pose him because he is just got kind of like a really, you can't, like the elbows are just bent this way, it's just the way it is. Hips rotate, he's got knees, and then he's got the ball jointed ankles, so you can get him posed pretty good. It's a little awkward if you don't have him just like kind of standing stock. He just looks a little weird at times, but honestly, he's pretty good. He's a pretty solid figure. Here we have the red spring. It's got the port for the play sets, and it's just a little red spring. He can just, launch himself on that, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like super exciting about this because we have gotten Classic Sonic before, so it's just that new head paint, which is good. But that still makes this a good Super Sonic figure because that's all you really need to do, and they didn't like overthink it and make it crazy, so I like it. It works. Okay, so Classic Super Sonic with Classic Sonic, of course, is the easiest comparison to make. You can see they're basically the same, but, a little different. Actually, sculpted the shoes a little different. I'm noticing the band is not as wide on the Super Sonic, and the arms are a little thicker, so it's not a complete reuse, which is pretty nice. It actually is a unique figure in more ways than I thought. But yeah, pretty cool having the two together. Heavy Gunner, the more destructive member of the hard-boiled heavies that demands you respect its authority. So here we have the Heavy Gunner. We'd gotten an Egg Robo Gunner before, so now we got a Heavy Gunner. Love the personality in this guy. You can just see, like, he's got normal eyes, right? But then when you have the shadow over it, it makes it like angry eyes, which is just great. And this little gap here looks kind of like a mouth. He just looks like a really, really grumpy cop. It's really cool looking. You got the jetpack back here, which does rotate. I don't think it comes off. I think it just rotates. And in general, he just looks really, really nice. The cool part, too, is that he does have the head swivel. He's got shoulders that move out and rotate, elbows that bend and rotate, wrists that rotate, hips that kick forward. They're ratcheted even. Rotate out. They bring back down. You've got knees and then the knee rotation, and then you got the ankle rotation on top of that. So the Robo Gunners are like some of the most articulated figures in the line. So you can actually have him like crouch down or something if you want. You could have him like kind of like he's about to fly or something like that. You got options. He can be like, oh, you darn kids. And then, of course, you can give him his launcher weapon, which goes right there. And then, boom, that completes the look. I love the Egg Robos, and I love the Heavy Gunners look. And I look forward to getting the other like variants of this, like the Heavy King that's coming out. And I love that we're getting stuff from Mania and all that, because I think these are just such great designs. And I think it just makes for a really fun action figure. There's so much personality oozing out of this guy, and I think that's just so much fun. And it's what I love about Sonic the Hedgehog, especially with the character designs, is when you have this much personality out of a guy who's essentially just a robot that you beat after like 5 minutes of fighting him. depending on the difficulty. But yeah, it's great. Love this figure. I don't really have anything else to say besides it really good. All right, here's the Heavy Gunner Egg Robo with the regular Gunner Egg Robo. You can see they're completely different molds for the most part. I think the feet might be the same, but I think they're just designed the same. They're very different. This guy's a little bigger. He's a little bit bigger than this guy. I do have them a little bit posed, but he's a little bit larger, different mold. You know, they have the same shape. Like, they got similar backpacks, but they're different. They have similar hands, but they're different, that sort of thing. I knocked him over because of their big old guns, especially this guy. He's not standing as well. I think this guy's got a little bit bigger feet, but yeah, they're pretty great. I love these guys. I especially love that they're more articulated because their designs work with it. So pretty cool. I'm not gonna worry about the guns anymore. They're neat to have. Knuckles is a red echidna and the last of his tribe. Okay, so now for the newest figure that has come out, which is this classic Knuckles. There are other figures in his wave that I haven't gotten, but Knuckles shipped, I think, before the Metal Sonic 3.0 or the Heavy King, so I think he's technically just like the newest figure at the moment. I had to get him. Luckily, I got him on Amazon. But yeah, this is classic Knuckles. I think this is totally happening because the Knuckles show is coming up. I think they pushed him ahead of Tails and Amy because of that, because we haven't gotten classic Tails and Amy in the 4-inch line. We've only gotten them in the 2.5-inch. We've gotten them multiple times there, but I do think they are coming if they're making, you know, Knuckles here. But this is definitely not just because it's Knuckles' 30th anniversary this year. It's his 30th birthday. Congrats, buddy. You hit the age. You know, it's also because he's going to get his TV show. So I think this is why he's in this wave. But I'm looking forward to seeing when we get classic Tails and Amy in the future. But as a figure, he's just big. He's chunky. He stands really nice. Here's the 2.5-inch one, since I just had it on hand. You can see it's basically the same sculpt. They changed the hands up a little bit, so he has like an open hand, which I like. It adds variety. So overall, it's just kind of like a bigger, better looking version of that 2.5-inch figure. The head has the same like limited articulation that all the Knuckles have. The shoulders move out. The shoulders sort of bash into his things here. He's got his ball jointed wrists. You got the hips. The hips move out. You've got knees that bend. You've got ball jointed ankles. So you got the standard range of articulation. But yeah, Knuckles is my guy. He's like my favorite of the original classic Sonic characters. You know, him and Shadow are like my faves. So I'm always happy to get a figure of Knuckles, and especially one of how Knuckles looked when I first met him when I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, you know, that's just, it's a serotonin kick of nostalgia, and I'll admit that makes him my favorite figure of what we got, but that's just how it goes. Absolutely love this figure, though. And he does come with a purple Chaos Emerald, so in case you haven't had a purple one so far, I don't remember what purple came with originally. You guys can check my old videos or look it up online. Preferably check my old videos. That's always helpful. But yeah, it's a purple one. I don't remember where I got all the Chaos Emeralds. I already have a purple one, but it's nice that there's another release of those because it is kind of hard to track them all down. But classic Knuckles, absolutely phenomenal little figure here, and very, very excited to see Tails and Amy soon because I think they're imminent at this point. And then here's Knuckles with the other classic heroes, Sonic, Mighty, and Ray. Like I said, we're still waiting on Tails and Amy. And of course, we could get some other characters like Fang the Hunter or the Chaotix, you know, that sort of thing. So we'll see what happens, but I do love the classic figures, and it's nice to see Knuckles join the lineup. And then for fun, here's classic and modern Knuckles together in the same line, which is super cool. Love Knuckles. He's the best. You know, it's amazing what started as a hedgehog turned into all of this. I can't even get it all into one proper frame. Holy cow, we have a lot of figures. This is amazing. All right, we're just gonna go handheld. We're going rogue. Okay, so yeah, we've got, you know, 7 Chaos Emeralds, Master Emerald, Gold Chao. We got, you know, Team Chaotix minus Charmy. You know, there's the classic group, the Egg Robos, the Eggmen, the Mecha Sonic, the Metal Sonic, the Infinite, the Chaos, the Supers. We got the frickin', you know, weird people. I don't know, they're just like unaffiliated. Silver Blaze and Jet. You know, Team Rose. We've got Team Dark. We've got Team Sonic. Yeah, this is amazing. This is absolutely incredible. Like, this line is just like a dream come true. It's so good. I wish I could get a better frame than this, but we're just gonna roll with this for the outro. Love this line. I'm hoping to get Mephiles, Heavy King, Metal Sonic 3.0. I'm sure I will. I have renewed faith and confidence now that I was able to just like buy classic Knuckles on Amazon. Like, that made me really happy. So I'm looking forward to future figures. I'm looking forward to this line continuing to expand. I'm looking forward to building a shelf that's better for all of these because it's gotten way longer than I thought. and it's wonderful. I love this line. The variety is here. I feel like with Jakks' Nintendo line with Mario, it just ends up being like the same thing all the time, and occasionally I throw in a new character. There's so much variety here, which I really like. The fact we get at least 2 to 3 new figures a wave is amazing, and I love seeing that. And yeah, I'm super stoked, and that does it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, if you hadn't hit the like button already, please hit the like button. It helps this video get out to more people. Please hit subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss out on future Sonic videos. It's going to be a big year for Sonic with the movie and the Knuckles show and more toys. I love toys. And I am excited to share it with all of you. Leave a comment down below. Tell me your favorite figure that I reviewed today or your favorite figure of the line so far. So if you want to check out our live streams here on the channel, Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern, I greatly appreciate it. We have a good time. We talk about Sonic news on there all the time. You can also join our Discord server in the link below if you want to discuss Sonic toys, games, movies, shows. You can find me on social media if you wish at Soundout12, though I am more active on Discord. And you can join as a channel member where there's perks like early access to videos, details in the join button and the link down below. Also, you can find my awesome graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. You can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for news, interviews, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.